Greetings, fellow farmers. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeers Brutal Vulcan. Episode 33, Tripling the Greenhouse for Ample Oxygen. Oh, there was actually one more thing that I wanted to add to the poll. Sorry to reset it. Which is improve arc filter to for all gas. So what that is at the moment, our arc furnace produces a lot more gases than just nitrogen, obviously. But we're not actually capturing any of it. We are just dumping all of the non-nitrogen out to, atmosphere. So if you want me to be capturing oxygen, carbon dioxide, and volatiles, we could improve that. Because I had only set it up for nitrogen as like a quick stopgap measure to stop hemorrhaging out our killing our soybeans. Speaking of soybeans, I should go check on them. So let me finish the wall first, and then we'll check the soybeans. Or I'm bound to go down the rabbit hole of never getting anything done. Am I going to build a solid frame to push out all the gases before I wall it in? I'm not walling it in. Well, oops. To that end, I could wall it in, but I don't really see a reason to. Because all that really matters to me is that I can maintain the chutes. I don't want to remove access to the chutes. So that's all that really matters as far as design goes. So I'll be able to jetpack overhead and get into this area if the chutes need maintenance, if they get clogged or something happens. So I was just going to leave it open and add windows just so that there's a solid surface, so it doesn't look like the logic is floating. So basically, this is all I intended to do, is have a glass wall of logic. Project's done, as far as I'm concerned. And there's just room for more logic if I want it. Okay, I am rather low on iron, so whatever project I undertake next, I'm likely going to need some iron. So let's shove some iron through the arc furnace chutes. And then I'll take on whatever you top vote for. Which looks to be expanding the greenhouse. And then there's the question for the expanded greenhouse of... There's a bunch of different ways to expand the greenhouse, and I'll include those possible variations in the follow-up poll. If that wins. God, this drill is so fast that the pressure differences from having the atmosphere fill the voids is throwing me around. Imagine drilling so fast that it creates an cavitation effect that whiplashes you. That's crazy. If the arc furnace gas is 0 Celsius, could I use the rest of gas as a coolant loop? I wouldn't necessarily want to do that because I don't want to introduce oxygen and volatiles in the same anything. Because the problem with that, to answer your question, is my coolant loop, I shouldn't assume stays cool. It's a coolant loop after all. And if it ever got hot and there was both volatiles and oxygen in the pipes, what do you get when you mix oxygen and volatiles at high temps? Boom! right? So I would gain a tiny bit of coolant and lose the security of my coolant not exploding and killing me. Because currently my coolant is just CO2. And therefore not combustible. And I kind of like not combustible coolant. I know, call me old-fashioned, but that's how I feel. Obviously, this is sort of like a weird set and forget. I could like put iron through the chutes and just be like, whatever. You know, I'll use it later. You guys want me to expand the greenhouse for more oxygen. Got it. So here's the thing. How to expand the greenhouse. Build a new one. Add plants to the rather ferns to the central base, or expand the old one. So to elaborate these choices or other viewer suggestions, if you don't like my 3 choices. So, building a new one. Basically the same setup as this one. It would likely require the same sort of like logic and stuff, so it'd be a little annoying, but I would do it. Alternatively, we could add ferns to the central base. So the ferns here, I'm not harvesting. They're not like crops that I'm constantly harvesting or anything like that. So it doesn't really matter all that much if they're added to the regular base. The reason to keep this greenhouse separate is it's like a safety mechanism, right? Because if the regular base goes to hell, that greenhouse stays green. Speaking of the greenhouse, I really ought to check up on this soy. So I could add ferns to the central base, and the advantage of that would be if I do end up with a breathable base, while I exhale CO2, the plants inhale it, and it reaches some sort of equilibrium. To some degree or another. Still not grown. Well, damn. Plenty of nitrogen in the room. I'm going to flush in a little bit more pressure into the room. And then I also have to remember to turn off the CO2 filter because it's been running a while. You know, it's been running a while, but like, I don't have a lot of CO2. So I'm going to leave it running some more. O2 bounced back about 100 moles since we flushed it into the room. We will need volatiles, so remind me to also turn off the volatile filter too. There is still steam left in the system, so the water production is not yet done. But how much water do we make? It should be a lot. 5 liters almost. So I'll flush those 5 liters into the base to get them equalized temperature-wise with the base using these radiators. Meaning the base is going to warm up briefly, but like, you know, that's by more or less by design. Alright, it looks like you guys want me to expand the old farm. Got it. Why reinvent the wheel? I think that's probably the easiest case. So, yeah, let's start that. I will use... You know what? I'm just going to use good old iron, because I just made a whole big batch of iron, and it's just easier to use the iron than the steel, even though it's, like, more expensive. So... First thing we need to do is this back wall here. Well, let's figure out physically where we can expand. I think that's more important, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. So likely, I'll want to double it. So the old farm is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 5, I think? 5 deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would want to make the trays, leave this line of insulated piping in, and just run another 5 by 7 array behind this wall, going north. I think that's north. Oh, let me hide this pole.
Hydration critical.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, and this air conditioner should have no problem keeping up with the added air conditioning demands. I don't think that will be an issue at all. All right, do some quick hydration, and then we'll start working towards the expansion. I don't know why I was hucking my suit. Seems unnecessary. Yep, I'll turn off the volatile and CO2 filters in just a moment. We might actually want to eventually set up automation for that stuff, so that there's a minute of max and it turns on and off automatically on its own. That way I don't have to manage it, but like, I'll add that to a future poll. Because I think there's a high likelihood that I forget for too long and it like overpressurizes and explodes. It really is a hazard to overpressurize. One would assume I would hear the creaky pipes before it went kaboom. Actually, you know what? That can still keep going. But my volatiles will probably have enough. We still have a little bit of steam left to process into water. But we'll have another liter of water that came out this system. Okay. So, updating the priority. I might not even want to stop at double the size. I might just go for triple the size or something. Just so that we're making like a hell of a lot of oxygen, because that would open up the opportunity in order to start doing advanced furnacing. I'm just gonna call down a trade or two while I'm at it. So on the other side of this wall is nothing. Now there is some walls here that we'll have to invert on the other side. But this, you can see the exposed water pipes. So I can easily expand out this way. There's nothing stopping me from doing that. So let's get the frames together for that. And then to weld them in such a way that I don't introduce atmospheric gases into Vulcan so that we don't explode. But, you know, I learned my lesson. Oh, chocolate. So soon we'll be able to make our own soybean oil, or, and then we'll be able to, we are already able to make our own flour. Every time I read that, I'm like, hemdroid. Like, hemorrhoid? You trying to sell me hemorrhoids? Nope, there's nothing I want to do there. We're going to need a lot of CO2 to keep the greenhouse pressure expanding? Yes, and that's exactly why I was like, you know what? I'm going to just let this keep filtering. Because you're exactly right. So in order to invert the walls, one thing we might want to do is we might want to move where the canister hookup is. So I'm gonna get rid of the canister hookup now, because like that's not a very good spot for it. And in fact, we could even have the canister hookup in the rest of the base, like over here. Like I can put the canister like hook up here or something, you know? It really doesn't really matter where it goes. Or I don't know, here. Actually, if this curved, Yeah. Here we go. No, turn... Okay. Fighting the game. Oh, that is not an... I guess it doesn't need to be an insulated pipe. Now let me get one more liquid pipe, and we'll just move in the hookup. What does it need to fix my lungs? I need liquid nitrogen to fix my lungs. Basically, it ain't happening for a while, so don't worry about it. Liquid nitrogen would be very complicated for me to set up. I mean, it might be possible to fix my lungs with just good old-fashioned medical pill, but like I kind of doubt it. Okay, so the water hookup's here instead of there, so that fixes the whole like this juts out in the middle of everything. And I kind of like rows and columns, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the piping as is. And obviously we're going to want more insulated pipes. Yeah, maybe we don't even need it. There we go. So now we have tray hookups on the other side. So we're going to need to build walls in here so that we can frame up and expel the gases of Vulcan on the other side. So that's next step. Not too complicated, as long as we do it right. So I've already have kit iron walls, I'll just use those. And then we need the sheets. This will be ugly, but done. So the two walls on the other side, right above the water pipes that I just installed, can be removed. So those walls no longer need to be there. So now we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 frames, I think. Do I have... I don't think I have any frames, so I'll just let them rip. Yeah, I don't have any frames. So we're adding 8 frames on ground floor and then 8 frames to push out the air above it. Hence the 16. Cheers. The other thing that I'm going to need is grow lights. And grow lights require electrum, do they not? Yes. I'll probably need 40 electrum. And I've got 93. Okay, that's not an issue. Sweet. And I'm using grow lights so I can control the amount of light that the plants are exposed to, because plants don't want as much light as Vulcan supplies. It would harm them. It would illuminate, stress them out. So if I have 16 frames, I need 32 sheets, or 29 more sheets. And also, yeah, the solar heat, too. Especially now that solar storms are a thing on Vulcan. I haven't gotten a solar storm yet, but, like, I'm probably due for one. And solar storms, if you have windows, will really cook the crap out of you. And cooking the crap out of me is fine, I wear a suit. Cooking the crap out of plants that aren't wearing suits, yeah, they ain't gonna be too happy. Okay. Then we'll need 8 flat walls on the roof, 2 flat walls on the back, so that's 10, and then 4 flat walls on the side, so that's 14 new flat walls. Oh, and then there's flat walls on the other side too, where this doesn't share a wall. So I'll count the total amount of flat walls later. Also, these walls are going to need to be inverted as well, because these 2 walls here are blocking new frames. So I'll need to print up 2 more iron sheets. Because the walls on the other side have to be removed. So I'll count the flat walls later, so that I make the correct amount. Okay. So these 2 flat walls are good to be removed. And these 2 flat walls are good to be removed as well. Because I just set them up from the other side. Oops. And I might as well just put them down, because that's just 4 fewer flat walls I'm going to need. Seems reasonable. Next, the frames. So I'll do the floor frames first, and then the frames that displace the atmosphere after that. Word of caution, do not stand in the frame that you're welding, because if it clips your feet, you die. Because essentially you're welding yourself into a metal frame, and that's super hyper fatal. One of those newbie mistakes you make once, and only once. Hopefully. If you learn from your mistakes. Okay, now that that's done, soil removal. Looks good. Now the frames that displace the atmosphere. And you can see the greenhouse is getting a lot bigger. Now, yes, its pressure will drop tremendously. So one way to avoid this is to leave these frames in place and remove them just a few at a time while we continually repressurize the greenhouse, so the greenhouse's pressure doesn't drop to some sort of like plant killing critical level. So I'll do that as well. So 8 frames on top, 2 on the side, 2 on the side. So got it. Or 7, because I really don't need this one here anymore. That's not needed. So let's get rid of this one. This was here as a backstop when I degassed my tank. But now that tank is so pressurized that if I degassed it, I would likely rip a hole in my base. So it's like, we're never going to use that wall. So I need 15 flat walls, 15 steel sheets. The other thing I might want to do is, these can be windows into the farm once the remodeling is done. I'd like to include as many internal windows as possible. It's pretty. So I don't have a lot of external windows because they generate heat. So I only have a few external windows here to be able to look out. But internal windows is a totally different matter that I appreciate. Alright, half more liter being flushed. We have 5 liters total, and it's about room temperature. Perfect. Because I'm going to dehydrate soon. Yeah, my welder tool, I'm sure, needs to be exchanged, recharged. Arc welders are very power hungry. But they don't outgas, so, like, that's awesome. Now, before I hydrate, I want to check up on the soy. Because I would feel a lot more comfortable doing the greenhouse expansion if I had soy seeds in hand. That way, if I super screw something up, it's like, no big deal, because I already have the seeds. So I think it's worth waiting until I've got soy seeds in hand. I mean, I could buy new soy seeds, but I'd be sad. To put it bluntly, I would be sad to get knocked back out of the back into the potato age. I don't want to be a potato person. Alright, that's the flat walls I need. We're still at 5.6% nitrogen. Growing moderately well, but it's not done yet. I could risk it too. Because, like, my wheat's almost done with 2 whole growth cycles. And I just pushed all the last nitrogen I have into the room. So it's 9% nitrogen. Wow, I didn't realize I had that much more nitrogen. Works for me. Alright, waste tank's getting a little full. Oxygen could be re-upped. One thing I haven't taken advantage of is smart tanks, which, if you're wondering, the smart tanks can hold much more pressure than the regular tanks. Shut up, game. I'm literally here to hydrate. But regular tanks have been fine. I haven't had to do, like, long terrain traversal. So, like, I don't really see the advantage of, oh, I'm still making water? Huh. Wow, okay. I don't really see the advantage of bothering with the smart tanks. Alright, 4 liters left. Oh, you know what? I didn't eat. Yeah, Vulcan is very resource rich. So, ores, compared to other planetary bodies, ores are just, like, super not a problem to obtain on Vulcan. So it's one of the easy parts of Vulcan, whereas, like, you know, other places, a lot trickier to source material. Alright, let's check on our water generation. Did we really make more water? Yeah, there's a little bit more water in the pipe. Yeah, it's still generating water. Do I really have steam in the system? I don't. So this is just like what's left being condensed, I guess. So I have only 4 moles of steam. So it's just there. That's a trickle of condensing steam. I don't care. Okay, let's set up the flat walls. Question: should I wait for soy seeds to expand? Yay or nay? Truth be told, I don't think it's strictly necessary. I'm, like, pretty safe and pretty certain I can do it without, like, murdering my plants. But if you want me to be abundantly cautious, like, that's fine. Did I miscount? Yes. I don't know math. Yay! I am a genius. Well, I have 4 more flat walls. Go me! While I'm out here, there's really... What? I don't even know what these guys are. Cosmic Crush? Space route suppliers, but like I don't have a 7x7 with a runway. Oh, okay, ores. Neat. You want burgers, chocolates, mining heavy drill again. So that could be a possibility, because that's like a lot of money for... But I am also lower on Constantine and Invar, so like there's a reason maybe not to do it. I don't know, I'll pull you guys. Alright, you don't want me to wait for soy seeds? Got it. Alright, the next thing I need is hydroponic trays like you would not believe. Luckily, I have a lot of iron, but I don't even know if I have enough iron. But it's nighttime outside, so I'm not even going to bother with that. So, tray. So, what, 70? 70 trays? So I would need like 700 iron? Yeah, I don't have enough iron for that. But I can get it. Why'd the temperature go up? Oh. The carbon dioxide that it flushed in was hotter? And I think I have enough carbon dioxide now. Is my CO2 filter dead? No, it's not dead. O2 filter, not dead. Water filter, are you dead? You functionally, yeah, you're dead. 5% is dead. Yo! Alright, quit making the trays. I need a water filter. I only have an alarm for my, oh my god, words. My oxygen filter? But it is the filter that gets battered the most. And if you're wondering, I could grow in other things other than the hydroponic trays, but because I'm like growing ferns and then never harvesting them, I don't really need to have better trays. There are other trays that allows for like automation. I haven't bothered. So stack 5. Stack of 5. 15. And I'm out of iron. Do I want to be mining at night? Like, not really? If I'm honest. Am I using advanced furnace? I am not. I suppose I can install these now. I want the windows on the other side. So let's make 2 wall. Because we're installing that in the new expansion. Oh god, I'm running out of room. Then we need plastics and glass. Okie dokie. I'll do 3 rows of new plants, so I'm gonna leave these 3 trays behind. I also don't have the grow lights for them. We'll get there. We'll get there. Ooh. Next stage is seeding. So the soy is coming. They're growing a little bit better now. They are... Oh, it still says poorly, but that's probably just from the earlier phases. So, how pressurized are we in this room? Let's over-pressurize it. Because it's about to drop to, like, you know, a fraction. Frame 1. Frame 2. Our pressure in here is 69. It did not drop below the 50%. And I'm shoving fresh CO2 into it. I kind of wish I could see how much CO2 I had in the pipe behind it. It's not exposed. Oh, no. Is that my coolant? No, is that my CO2? Wait, where's my CO2? This goes... Is this the CO2 line? No, I don't have 1.9 kilomoles. No, actually, that is my CO2, right? Because the heat exchanger's there. Okay, cool. So yeah, I can actually see how much CO2 I have available to me, which I have plenty. So this shouldn't be too hard to do. Frames. And basins. I forgot we're doing 7s, not 5s. So I kind of brought the wrong amount in, but whatever. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 14 new basins. Obviously, I don't have the lights in, so I'm not actually going to plant. But this is, you know, the first step, I guess. Whoa! Azura Storm! Thank you for the massive cheer. I will keep stationeering. I'll keep on keeping on. Okay, water's okay for now. I actually don't know why the water's cold. It shouldn't be any colder than the room temperature because it's being equalized here. So it is weird that the water is 18 Celsius, but the room is 21. Wee bit of a head scratcher there. But that's fine. And then we'll install our window. Because the other side is going to be removed. I think we are pressurized enough to go another iron frame. 83. All right, let's get that up to 100. So once the back here is up to 100, we'll open up these frames for one more set. Each increment, obviously, if you know math, each time I open up these frames, it's taking a hit to the total pressure less and less and less because the volume's greater. So before, I had, this was one, it was 6, and I opened it up to 2 more, so it would drop by, you know, it went from a total volume of, let's say, 6 cubic meters to 8 cubic meters. But now it's going from 8 cubic meters to 10 cubic meters, and as we expand, it's less of a pressure hit. Just don't drown out the nitrogen? Yep, don't worry, I won't. I was not planning on going any larger than this right now. Anyway, for nitrogen reasons. But we're still at 6% nitrogen. It needs to be above 1%, so it's like 6 times more than we need. Which is to say, it is within tolerance. All right, pressure here should be like 80. Wow, I called it, right? Doing the math. You know, 100 kPa moving from 8 cubic to 10 cubic would be 80, so it's basically 80. Simple math, but still. And we definitely have room to... We've doubled our farm. But the reason why I went this large is so that I can do the windows. So I don't have to carry around the window kits forever. I'm not so sure I like the placement of this CO2 pipe. So I might reroute that a bit. And rainstorm. Wow. A lot of storm bits between rainstorm and a zero storm. I appreciate it. Thank you. My goodness. Stationeer love. Question for you guys. Should I sell some heavy drills? Yes or no? Just for extra credits. If you think that's needed. I'm going to wait till this middle wheat plant is seeding before I reseed them all. So I'm going to hydrate, put these frames and walls away, and then get some more iron because we need a lot more iron to finish all the trays. Please look at the Invar stockpile. I have like 40 Invar or something like that. It's low. 60. I have 60 Invar. And a heavy drill. Heavy mining drill is 10 Invar a piece. So I would go from 60 to 40. Solder is not a big problem. Electrum's not a big problem. Because Electrum and solder are a lot easier to make. Credit-wise, I have 750 credits, and I would go up to 1250 if I sold. You know, it's 250 a piece. And I also need the batteries, but that's just steel, basically. It's not super pricey. Four liters of water left. So the plants have about 4 liters. I have about 4 liters. There's also like a liter stuck in the like canister filler. Not that I'm going to do anything about that. Just I know that there's like emergency water, like water that I have technically could get access to if I needed to. Thank you for tuning in to Stationeer's Brutal Vulcan, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow Vulcanites.